Hey, everybody, welcome back. Folks, my next guest is an Emmy and Peabody Award-winning journalist, author, and podcast host. Her new book is called Our Hidden Conversations. Please welcome to The Late Show, Michele Norris. Lovely to meet you.
It's of course, so good to be here.
I recognize you, and our folks at home might recognize your voice as your time as co-host of NPR's All Things Considered, but now you have got a new book. It's called Our Hidden Conversations, What Americans Really Think About Race and Identity, which is over a decade in the making. How did this start?
It started with postcards.
What do you mean?
I wrote a book about my family's very complex racial legacy. I was going out on a 35-city book tour, and I thought no one wanted to talk about race. I thought people would rather eat their toenails than talk about race. And so I thought I need an invitation for people to enter this conversation. My parents were both postal workers. Maybe that's why I thought about postcards. I could support the U.S. Postal Service. But I went to the local print shop in my neighborhood, and I printed up 200 cards, and I started leaving them everywhere I went.
Like, just like you would leave it at a coffee shop, or you...
Leave it at the sugar station, at the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Leave it in a Bible at a hotel. Leave it in the little pocket in back of an airline. Leave it in the kiosk at a restaurant. Leave it on a seat.
And what would it say?
The postcards all said, race, your thoughts, 6 words, please send. Wow. And people started to send them in, and the intention behind that. You had to find a pen, you had to find a postage stamp, you had to find a mailbox. I mean, we were sort of moving away from snail mail at that point, but pretty early, people were already starting to pack a lot into just 6 words, saying things like, I'm only Asian when it's convenient, white, not allowed to be proud.
Well, we've got some of them right here. You want to?
Okay.
We'll read through a few of them to get people a sense of the things that you were getting back from people. How many ultimately did you end up getting?
We have archived more than 500,000, and we are getting more that come. And most of them, I should say, most of them come in digitally now through the website.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a lot of postcards.
Yeah.
Okay, you start.
Can't pronounce my name? Try harder.
My son's not half, he's double.
And you wonder why I'm mad.
Lady, I don't want your purse.
We don't match, but we're family.
Black, gay, successful, a family's shame.
The only Jew on Easter Sunday.
Indo-Pac sounds like camping gear.
I wish the voice would stop.
Underneath, we all taste like chicken.
That's one of my favorites.
That's my favorite, too. So what did you glean from these 500,000 offerings?
There were a lot of lessons. The big one was I thought no one wanted to talk about race. It turns out a lot of people do. They're just looking for the right place, the right on-ramp, a space where they can have their say. A lot of people write not just about headlines, things that are in the headlines, they write about their personal life. So if someone is writing about over-policing in America, if they're writing about immigration, they usually don't, if they're writing about, a big change in the world, they usually don't write about the thing that's in the headline. They write about their son. They write a story about their commute. They write a story about what it feels like to live in a country that suddenly feels foreign to them.
Well, the book itself is not these 6-word answers. It's that and many other. There's photos and essays that accompany them. I'm not going to ask you what your favorite one is, because that's too difficult, but is there a story that particularly surprised you?
Well, I'm surprised every day. I mean, I'm surprised that people took the bait, so I'm always astonished.
Yes.
But there were stories that just hit me. There's a chapter in the book called Black Babies Cost Less to Adopt. And it's hard to even say that out loud, right? But we learned that...
That's 6 words.
Yeah, it's 6 words. And it's a story, and we did a lot of research and realized that in America, the fees associated with adoption sometimes vary based on the skin color of a child. That's really sort of ugly stuff. Some of it is too...
So there are market forces.
Yes, there are market forces. And altruism, people are trying to lower the price to incite or to to invite more families of color to
I see,
participate in
I see,
adoption.
yeah.
But there was a story where someone said, I wish he was a girl. And it was a parent who, after watching the grainy police footage of Tamir Rice getting killed in front of that gazebo in Ohio, she didn't know what to do. She was crying. She didn't want her son to hear her in the next room. So she went to her computer and she typed those 6 words. And she sent them to the Race Card Project. Now, of course, she doesn't wish that her boy was a girl. She loves him. This was years ago. He's now off at school.
Did you meet this boy?
I met them together. He didn't know she sent in this story. I watched her tell him how and why he sent that story in, and then I watched him tell her that all the lessons that she had given him about the talk, about how to comport yourself, he explained to her, when I go to the grocery store, when I go to the 7-Eleven, I often am, it's almost like Claude Steele's whistling Vivaldi. I'm humming classical music. I'm extra friendly, you know, to inoculate people's fears. Because when she sent that 6-word story in, he was young, and now he was 8, and now he's 19. And he goes out into the world as a young black man whose color sometimes arrives before he does, so he always feels like he has to be jolly. Mm-hmm. So people
He has
don't
to
see
project what people will perceive of in his eyes as harmlessness.
Right.
Well, at a time when there's a lot of resistance to diversity programs,
Yeah.
and that's turned into a bit of a political cudgel, and there's also a resistance to teaching in our schools American history and American racial history. What do you think people get wrong about race and identity in America?
Well, on the teaching of history, I think they get wrong the idea that we can outrun our history. I don't think we can. I don't think we should. I think diversity is sort of a word that has become weaponized in some ways. And what people get wrong is that diversity is not an ugly thing. Diversity is one of the beautiful things about America. That when you create diversity, you don't have to lower standards. It's about widening the aperture, not lowering the standards. I'm going to say that one more time. To create a diverse space, you don't have to lower standards, you just widen, you just look for a larger pool, because talent is equally distributed, opportunity is not.
Michele, it was lovely to meet you. Thank you for being here. Our Hidden Conversations is available now. Michele Norris, everybody. We'll be right back.